Who am I and why am I running for mayor? Well, I've lived in this town for 34 years, seen the booms and the busts. I've seen the best of this city and I've seen the worst of this city. I'm a wildlife conservationist, and for the last 15 years I've been a producer and a photojournalist for ABC News, largest news gathering operation in the world, covering all sorts of stories, disasters from the Oso mudslide to the wildfires. I've put myself in the water with great white sharks. I've been on shore with the largest of the grizzly bears in Alaska. I've covered a lot of stories and a lot of human tragedies. I've covered 13 mass shootings in the last 3 years alone. I've been in the locations when the shooter was still at large. I've seen and talked to families of victims of random violence, and I've worked with this city on covering those stories and making them understandable to the public, communicating these complex issues. I'm also known as the whale guy. I've been a conservationist fighting for the southern resident orcas out here and all the whales and all creatures great and small out here in Puget Sound, but I've also had the honor of being the executive director of the Pacific Whale Watch Association, representing 37 businesses in BC and Washington, an industry here that's so important to the economy that generates $144 million a year in economic impact here in the region, growing at a clip of about 10% a year, and I had to bring them to the center to make this industry functional, sustainable, and a paradigm for ecotourism industries around the planet. I don't think anybody has that kind of experience in this race. I'm the no new taxes candidate. Our taxes right now are too much of a burden on the residents of the city of Seattle. It's about making best of what we have now. Efficiencies in government. I hate to channel Al Gore, but we do need to do better with what we have. Call me a radical centrist, if you will, but I'd like to move the city of Seattle to the radical center. We've left a lot of residents with good ideas about how to deal with these issues in our wake. It's time to bring people to that radical center where things get solved, where problems get dealt with, where the best ideas win, regardless of what party you are, what political persuasion you might be. There's always discussions when a candidate gets in the race. There's always a question, well, what's his special interest? Who's behind this candidate? Well, my special interest is homelessness. It is a crisis that in the last 4 years, and really the last 8 years, has turned into an epidemic. It's time to right the ship. I feel like I've lived 100 lives in my career. I've done so many things. I've accomplished a lot. All roads, though, have taken me here, have brought me to this place where I want to help the city that I've lived in for 34 years. I have 2 kids that I've raised here, a 9-year-old and 5-year-old. They're in public schools. I love this city. I've seen it in its best times. I've seen it in its worst times. I've seen good government, good mayors, and I've seen some bad ones the last couple times around, and I'm afraid that we are not coming to that radical center anymore where solutions happen. I'll never be mistaken for a Republican or a conservative, but it doesn't mean there's not good ideas on both sides that we need to bring to the table, bring to the middle, and find those solutions. The radical center is where solutions happen. That's what I'm bringing to this race. I want your vote because you're like me. I have a commitment to this city. I love it. I think it can be better. So let's right this ship. Let's get us on a better course. Let's make sure this boom that we have now is going to continue, and let's make it work for all of us, from our wealthiest families to the people in the homeless camps. Let's do what we can do to change the direction of this city. Let's work together to right this ship. Let's get Seattle on a better course.
Sponsored by Friends of Michael Harris.